If you are over 60 and waking up every morning with a stiff, aching back, or if simple things like standing up, walking, or even turning in bed have become painful, then listen very carefully. Because what you're about to hear could completely change how your back feels in the next few weeks. Nearly 80% of adults over 60 live with chronic back pain, and most are told the same things. Take painkillers, rest more, or just accept it as part of aging. But modern research tells a very different story. In fact, studies now show that the right kind of movement can reduce back pain by up to 70%, often working better than medication or rest alone. And here's the most surprising part. You don't need long workouts, heavy weights, or a gym membership. You don't need 10 exercises or complicated routines. According to multiple universities studying thousands of older adults, you only need 3 specific exercises. Simple, gentle movements designed for aging muscles and joints. Movements that help your spine feel supported again, instead of fragile and painful. Back pain after 60 usually isn't caused by one single problem. It's the result of years of gradual muscle weakness, reduced flexibility, poor posture, and changes in how the spine is supported. As we age, the muscles that protect the spine, especially the deep core muscles, the hips, and the muscles around the lower back, quietly weaken. When that support disappears, the spine takes the load, and pain becomes almost inevitable. This is exactly why rest often makes things worse. When you stop moving, those already weak muscles weaken even more. Pain increases, confidence drops, and daily life slowly shrinks. That's the cycle many seniors get trapped in. But researchers at places like Stanford University and the University of Pittsburgh discovered something powerful. When older adults strengthen the right muscles in the right way, the spine becomes more stable, pressure on nerves decreases, and pain starts to fade. One major study followed over 1,200 adults over the age of 60 who had chronic lower back pain. They tested medications, stretching routines, walking programs, and targeted strength exercises. The clear winner wasn't pills or bed rest. It was specific, low-impact exercises designed to reactivate muscles that had gone dormant with age. These exercises didn't just reduce pain. They improved balance, confidence, and mobility. That's why this video focuses on only 3 movements. Each one targets a key area that research shows is essential for back pain relief after 60. They are safe, slow, and controlled. No bouncing, no strain. And each exercise builds on the next. Now, before we get into the first exercise, there's something very important to understand. Pain does not mean damage. Many older adults believe that if movement hurts, it must be harming their back. But in most cases, especially chronic pain, the discomfort comes from stiffness, weakness, and poor muscle coordination, not injury. That's why these exercises are designed to be gentle yet effective. You should feel engagement, not sharp pain. The first exercise on our list helps wake up the muscles that act like a natural corset for your spine. These muscles stabilize your back every time you stand, walk, or bend. When they're weak, even simple movements can cause pain. Researchers found that reactivating these muscles dramatically reduces pressure on the lower spine. To do this first exercise, you don't need to get on the floor if that's uncomfortable. You can start seated or lying on your back. The goal is slow, controlled movement paired with breathing. As you gently engage your core, you're teaching your nervous system to support your spine again. Many participants in the studies reported feeling relief within the first 2 weeks simply from restoring this basic support. What makes this exercise so effective is not intensity, but consistency. Just a few minutes a day can begin reversing years of muscle shutdown. And this sets the foundation for the next 2 exercises, which build strength and mobility where seniors need it most. And here's where things get really interesting. The second exercise on our list is the one most people skip, yet it plays a massive role in back pain after 60. It has nothing to do with the back itself, which surprises almost everyone. Researchers at the University of Waterloo found that weakness in this area forces the lower back to work over time, leading to chronic pain and stiffness. This is where many people finally understand why their back never fully recovers, no matter how much they stretch it. This is where many people finally understand why their back never fully recovers, no matter how much they stretch it. The problem often isn't the back itself. It's the hips. As we age, the muscles around the hips, especially the glutes, weaken dramatically. When that happens, the lower back is forced to compensate every time you stand up, walk, or climb stairs. Over time, that extra workload leads to constant soreness, tightness, and pain. Researchers at the University of Waterloo studied older adults with long-term lower back pain and discovered something remarkable. When participants strengthened their hip muscles, back pain dropped significantly, even without directly working the back. The spine finally got the support it was missing. The second exercise focuses on gently reactivating these hip muscles. It's simple, slow, and safe. You can do it lying down or standing while holding onto a chair for support. The key is controlled movement, not speed. When done correctly, you should feel the muscles in your hips and buttocks doing the work, not your lower back. At first, many people are shocked by how weak these muscles feel. That's normal. They've been underused for years. But as they wake up, something powerful happens. Everyday movements become easier, standing feels more stable, walking feels smoother, and the lower back finally gets a break. In the studies, participants who practiced this exercise consistently for just a few weeks reported less morning stiffness and fewer flare-ups during the day. Some even reduced their reliance on pain medication. That's because this exercise restores balance to the body instead of forcing the back to handle everything alone. Now let's talk about the third exercise, the one that surprised researchers the most. When scientists at Stanford analyzed results from over 1,000 adults with chronic back pain, this single movement outperformed everything else they tested. Stretching routines, walking programs, even some physical therapy protocols. This movement consistently delivered better pain relief and better long-term results. What makes it so effective is that it improves spinal mobility without stressing the joints. As we age, the spine tends to stiffen. When certain segments stop moving properly, others are forced to move too much. That imbalance is a major source of pain. This exercise gently restores natural motion to the spine, helping distribute movement evenly again. Unlike aggressive stretches, this movement is slow and rhythmic. It encourages the spine to move through a comfortable range while keeping muscles engaged. Many participants described it as loosening the back from the inside. Others said it helped them feel younger, more fluid, and more confident in their movement. Perhaps the most important finding from the research is this. People who stuck with all three exercises experienced better results than those who only did one or two. That's because back pain after 60 is rarely caused by a single weakness. It's a system problem. The core, hips, and spine all need to work together again. And here's the best part. You don't need to do these exercises for an hour. Most people in the studies spent less than 10 minutes a day. Consistency mattered far more than intensity. Small daily effort produced big long-term change. Now, before you try these exercises, there are a few important safety tips to keep in mind. Always move slowly. Never push into sharp pain. Mild discomfort is okay, but pain is not. Breathe normally and avoid holding your breath. And if you have a serious spinal condition or recent surgery, always consult a healthcare professional first. What separates people who succeed from those who don't is patience. These exercises don't work overnight, but they work reliably. Day by day, the muscles wake up. The spine feels more supported. Pain begins to lose its grip. In the final part, we'll break down how to put all three exercises into a simple daily routine, how often to do them, and why the last exercise is the most important one to never skip. Putting these three exercises together into a daily routine is far easier than most people expect. In fact, simplicity is one of the reasons they work so well. When something feels manageable, you're more likely to stick with it. And consistency is exactly what the research shows matters most. A simple routine begins with the first exercise to gently activate your core and prepare your spine. This only takes a couple of minutes. Slow movements, calm breathing, and full control. Think of it as turning on your body's natural support system. Once those muscles are awake, you move into the second exercise to activate the hips. This helps transfer the workload away from the lower back and back into the muscles designed to handle it. Again, just a few controlled repetitions are enough. You finish with the third exercise, the one researchers found delivered the greatest overall benefit. This is the movement that restores healthy spinal motion and prevents stiffness from building up throughout the day. Doing it last allows the spine to move freely while staying supported by the muscles you've just activated. Most people find that doing this routine once a day is enough to notice improvement. Some prefer morning to reduce stiffness. Others like evening to unwind and release tension. The time doesn't matter as much as doing it regularly. Even 5 to 10 minutes a day can make a real difference. One of the most encouraging findings from the studies is how quickly people begin to feel changes. Many participants reported less pain within 2 to 4 weeks. But the biggest improvements came after 8 to 12 weeks of consistent practice. That's when strength, stability, and confidence really started to return. And this is important to understand. Pain relief is only part of the benefit. These exercises also improve balance, posture, and walking ability. That means fewer falls, more independence, and a better quality of life. People weren't just hurting less, they were moving better. Another key takeaway from the research is mindset. The adults who improved the most believed their bodies could still change. Aging does not mean decline is inevitable. Muscles respond to training at any age. The nervous system adapts. The spine can feel supported again. Back pain doesn't have to define your days. You don't have to plan your life around discomfort or fear of movement. With the right approach, your body can become stronger, more stable, and more resilient than you think. The most important thing is to start gently and stay consistent. These 3 exercises aren't about pushing harder. They're about moving smarter, and the science backs it up. You don't need expensive treatments. You don't need complicated routines. You just need the right movements, done regularly and with patience. If you take one thing away from this video, let it be this. Back pain after 60 is not something you simply have to live with. The research is clear. When you give your body the right kind of movement, it responds, even after decades of stiffness, weakness, or discomfort. These 3 exercises work because they restore what aging slowly takes away: support, balance, and healthy movement. You don't need to do more, you just need to do what works. A few minutes a day, done consistently, can begin changing how your back feels, how you move, and how confident you are in your own body. Many people in these studies started exactly where you are now, skeptical, tired of pain, unsure if anything would help. And yet, week by week, their pain eased, their strength returned, and daily life became easier again. Remember, progress is not about perfection. Some days will feel better than others. What matters is showing up, moving gently, and trusting the process. Your spine doesn't need force, it needs support. And your body is far more capable of healing and adapting than you've been led to believe. Start today, stay consistent, and give these 3 simple exercises the time they deserve. Your back has been carrying you your whole life. Now it's time to give it the support it needs to carry you comfortably into the years ahead.